Welcome back to True Blue. Today we welcome into the studio cross-country coach Ed Eystone and runner Chandler Goodwin. Thanks for joining us, guys. Now, you're just coming off the NCAA regionals, but the most important meet really coming up is nationals in Indianapolis or Terre Haute. You ran on that course once already this year. How do you expect that to prepare you for what's ahead?
Well, we're actually quite familiar with this course because over the last 4 years, Chandler has run on it probably 8 times when you consider pre-national and national. So it's always nice knowing it. I think most of the country knows it pretty well at this point in time. But it's a good course for us because it has some challenging hills in it and enough flat section that we can use our strength and endurance to have the best result possible.
For you, Chandler, you were an All-American in 2005. This will be your last cross-country race. What's your goal for yourself?
Personal goals, I'd like to be All-American. I'd like to finish in the top 25. I think that'd be a nice way to cap off my senior year. But I think larger than that, I'd like to see the team finish in probably in the top 10 in the country. And I think if everyone on the team ran to the best of their abilities or what they're just capable of, it's very possible.
Coach, you guys have been in the top 25 in the last part of the year, 7 of the last 7 years. Where do you think you can push the program to consistently?
Well, you know, we've had some years where I think 3-4 years ago we were 5th in the country. So I think my goal more than the top 25 of those 7 years, I think we've been in the top 15. 4 years. So what we're seeing is we're in a position now where consistently we're being one of those teams that's ranked in the top 10. I think anytime you finish in the top 10, that's a pretty good sign that things are happening really well, that your athletes are performing well. So I'd like to see that continue to go. And then, you know, you'll have the occasional year. If you're in a top 10 position every year, then you'll have the occasional year where you are going to come together and you're going to end up on the podium and end up, you know, top 3 team.
Now, for people who are too young to remember your career as a runner, I'm not one of them. You were one of my favorites.
Most of the people out there. Yeah.
You were one of my favorites. You were really America's hope at long distances for a long time in the Olympics. We haven't had that for such a long time. And then this last World Championship, we had a woman that kind of made a name for herself in distances. Yeah. What is it going to take for the U.S. to be more consistent in long distance running? Yeah,
Kara Goucher came through and got a third place bronze medal, I believe, at the World Championships in Osaka. I was actually there to see that race, and it was very exciting. I was sitting next to her coach, Alberto Salazar. But I think we're seeing kind of a renaissance in terms of distance running around the United States. We have a good young runner by the name of Ryan Hall, who just recently won the Olympic trials in stunning fashion, and I think he's going to be a real player on the world scene in terms of getting in and having a chance to actually come away with a medal at the Olympic Games. In addition to him, things aren't really in that bad a shape because Meb Keflezighi in 2004 ended up with a silver medal in the marathon. So I think we got a lot of good young talent. We got guys like Chandler Goodwin who are coming up, who you know, could be America's future in such events as the steeplechase. We have Josh McAdams, who's a BYU grad, who ended up NCAA champion 2 years ago, USA champion last year in the steeplechase, and was the top American in the country in the steeplechase. So you know, BYU is trying to keep the great distance tradition that we've had with guys like Marsh, Padilla, Cummings, myself, and Jason Pyra, who have all been Olympians, and I think we have you know, people in position to continue that in the future.
For you, Chandler, you've seen your coaches and some of the people that he's mentioned. How does that push you to know that, hey, just a guy like me in Utah, I could get to that level?
Coach uses the story of Josh McAdams a lot. Josh came to the team as kind of a walk-on, and you kind of see where he started here at the program and where he finished, ended up NCAA champion, as Coach said. And I see that as kind of a motivation that, you know, if you stick with the program, if you stick with what Coach is doing with you, you can do great things. And I kind of see that personally for myself. Last year I was All-American in the steeplechase. I kind of follow in the same footsteps as Josh McAdams, and this year I'd like to see how far up I can place. You know, so it's nice to see these guys where they've been and kind of compare myself to them and see where I can go.
All right, just a couple of seconds left, Coach. I'll ask you my one last question is, you guys train at altitude year-round, and runners always make a big deal about that, but does it help you at all now going into Terre Haute, Indiana to compete in nationals?
Yeah, I think definitely. The studies have shown that if you're living at altitude anywhere from 5,000 to 8,000 feet, your body produces more red blood cells. Red blood cells are necessary to carry oxygen. It's in, you know, any endurance activity, you need as much oxygen and red blood cells as possible. So yeah, I think psychologically for us it's kind of nice knowing that we have a little bit of a training advantage up here, but bottom line, you go down to sea level and you got to just lay it all out on the line along with everybody else, and that's what we hope to do on Monday.
Chandler, you ready to lay it all out?
Ready. Let's do it.
All right. Well, good luck to you guys coming up for the Nationals in Indianapolis, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.